I still remember the exact sound of her voice that night, trembling, low, almost whispering, and yet every word sliced straight through me like a blade. She spoke in Japanese, thinking I wouldn't understand. She forgot that before I met her, I lived in Tokyo for 5 years. And that one mistake changed everything. It was a Thursday night, one of those quiet evenings where everything feels perfectly normal. I came home a bit late from work. The lights were dim, dinner was cold on the table, and she was sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone. She smiled when she saw me, but something about it didn't reach her eyes. It was the kind of smile people wear when they're holding something back. I asked her how her day was. She said, "Fine," in that automatic tone people use when they want to end the conversation before it even begins. I didn't push. I just ate silently while she scrolled, and when I was done, I went to the study to finish some work. That's when I heard her voice. At first, it was just soft murmurs, her phone on speaker speaking in Japanese. I recognized the rhythm immediately. I'd learned enough of it to understand every word. She didn't know that. Out of instinct, I froze. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but then I heard her say my name, softly as if it hurt her to speak it. Then came words that pulled the floor from under me. "He doesn't know anything." I felt my stomach drop. I muted my keyboard and leaned back in my chair, listening harder. My heart was pounding so loud I could barely hear her next words. "But soon it'll be over." I don't plan to tell him everything. I remember gripping the edge of the desk, trying to process what she meant. Tell me what? Over. What was ending? I heard a man's voice on the other end of the call, calm, deeper, the kind of voice that had familiarity in it. That realization sent a chill down my spine. He said something like, "Be careful he doesn't find out." She laughed. That soft, kind laugh she used to give me when she said she loved me. Only this time, it wasn't mine. It belonged to someone else. I felt the blood drain from my face. Every second stretched into eternity. She kept talking about meetings, travel, the plan. The words were fragmented, muffled between giggles and whispers. But I understood enough. There was someone else. For 20 minutes, I sat there frozen, half of me wanting to walk out and confront her, the other half wanting to pretend I hadn't heard a thing. When she finally ended the call, I heard her let out a deep sigh, one of those private exhales people only make when they've been pretending all day. That night when she came to bed, I pretended to be asleep. She curled up next to me, her hand brushing against mine. I didn't move. My heart was still racing, but I kept my breathing even. She whispered something, softly in Japanese again, and I'll never forget it. "I'm sorry. I didn't sleep at all." I lay there staring at the ceiling, her apology echoing in my head. The next morning, I decided to act like nothing happened. I needed time. Time to think, to understand, to plan. She made me breakfast, asked me about my meetings, kissed my cheek. Her tone was light, casual. She was good. Too good. I went to work but didn't really work. My mind replayed every moment of our marriage. Our first date, our wedding in Kyoto, the vows she said beneath the cherry blossoms. Every "I love you" now felt like a script she'd memorized. That night, when she went to take a shower, I checked her phone. I knew it was wrong. I'd never done it before. But curiosity had turned into survival. The chat was in Japanese under a name I didn't recognize. Sato. I opened it. My chest tightened with every line. She wrote, "Last night was amazing. I can't wait to see you again." I stopped reading. My hands were shaking. I felt physically sick. I deleted nothing. I just locked her phone, put it back exactly where it was, and sat down in silence. Days passed. She didn't notice the shift in me, or maybe she did, but assumed it was stress. I played along. I smiled. I cooked dinner. I listened when she spoke. But every time she said my name, it felt like a lie. I started recording her calls. I installed a small app that saved audio automatically when she spoke in Japanese. I wanted proof. Maybe part of me hoped I was misunderstanding, that my translation was wrong. But it wasn't. The recordings confirmed everything. They talked about how hard it was to keep the secret, how she'd married me for stability, how this would all make sense soon, and how he doesn't deserve to know. That last line broke something inside me. Then came the night everything changed. She invited some friends over for dinner, colleagues from her Japanese firm. I played the perfect host, smiled, cooked, laughed. Nobody could tell my chest was a battlefield. Halfway through dinner, one of her friends asked her something in Japanese. She laughed, replied playfully, and everyone joined in. I caught the word, meaning him, and saw the way her eyes darted toward me. Just for a second. I replied in perfect Japanese. "What are you talking about?" The table fell silent. Her friends froze. And she looked like she'd seen a ghost. "You speak Japanese?" she asked, her voice trembling. I smiled calmly. "Fluently." You could feel the air vanish from the room. Her friend quickly changed the subject, trying to laugh it off, but she couldn't hide her panic. The entire night after that, she barely spoke. When everyone left, she confronted me. Voice shaky, eyes wide. "Why didn't you ever tell me you spoke Japanese?" I just looked at her and said, "Why didn't you ever tell me you were cheating?" Her knees gave out. She sat down slowly on the floor, tears forming instantly. You heard?" "I heard enough," I said quietly. She started sobbing. Real, painful sobs that shook her whole body. I didn't feel angry anymore. Just empty. She confessed everything. Between broken sentences and guilt-soaked tears, she told me how she'd met him 2 years ago during a work trip to Osaka. It started as friendship, then emotional support, then more. She said she was lost, lonely, that I was too busy, that she didn't mean for it to happen. She said she wanted to end it but couldn't, that he had something over her. I asked what. That's when she went quiet. Her eyes darted to the window like someone might be watching. "You don't understand," she whispered. "He's dangerous." Dangerous. The word chilled me. This wasn't just betrayal. It was something darker. She said he wasn't just a coworker. He was connected to some business dealings her company got involved with. Shady money, hidden accounts. And somehow her name was attached to it. If I exposed her, I'd expose everything. I didn't know what to say. Part of me pitied her. Another part still burned with betrayal. When she finally stopped crying, she asked, "What are you going to do?" I said nothing. I just stood up, walked to the bedroom, and closed the door. Over the next week, she tried everything. Apologies, promises, dinners, desperate attempts to start over. But something inside me was gone. I'd loved her completely, trusted her blindly, and she'd taken that trust, wrapped it in foreign words, and buried it in another man's arms. One night she came to me with a folder. She said it had everything: emails, transfers, screenshots, evidence that could destroy the man she was involved with. She begged me to take it to the authorities to help her out of it. I asked her one thing: why me? Why ask for my help after everything? Her answer still haunts me. Because despite everything I did, you're the only person I ever truly loved. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. But love doesn't undo betrayal. I took the folder, but I didn't promise her anything. The next morning I left. No goodbye, no explanations. I checked into a hotel under another name and thought about everything. A week later, I met with a lawyer friend, someone who owed me a favor. We went through the documents. What she'd said was true. There were illegal dealings, offshore accounts, bribes, enough to ruin careers, and she was caught in the middle. I could have destroyed her with that evidence, exposed her, him, the company, all of it, but I didn't. Not out of mercy, not out of love, out of exhaustion. Some stories don't deserve endings. They just stop. I left the country soon after, quietly, no drama, no revenge. I started over somewhere no one knew my name. She tried contacting me, emails, calls, even letters in Japanese, begging for forgiveness. I never replied. A year later, I got a message from one of her old coworkers. He said she'd disappeared, that she'd been seen arguing with someone outside her office, a man matching Sato's description, and then she was gone. Police found her car, keys still in the ignition, door open on a bridge. They said it was suicide, but deep down, I knew better. She once told me he was dangerous, and I believe her now. Sometimes I think about that last night we spent together, her crying on the floor, saying sorry in a language she thought I didn't understand. I'm sorry. The funny thing is, I do understand. I understood every word then, and I understand it even more now. She wasn't just apologizing for the affair. She was apologizing for everything that was about to happen. The secret, the fear, the price of her silence. It's been 3 years since then. I still dream in Japanese sometimes. Sometimes I wake up hearing her voice, soft and trembling, like that first night, whispering things she never meant for me to understand.